simplest tap. Put in, it costs about 120 tons. Simplex tower, put it in about 18%. We're about, I don't know, 12 ton an hour up it with that sucker blower. Every year we say it's the last year. I think this is the last year. I hate the thing. Morning, we're up top of this silo, and these are the blower pipes, 6-inch blower pipes, and then it goes in top here, like so. It's about 50 foot, something like that, 50 foot high. And there's loads of these silos all over the country, but I think many used now, I don't think. I have to go there. And it's blown right up this big pipe into that machine there, which is a sucker blower, a Kongskilde sucker blower. And we tip in that box there. And it's very slow. It's very slow, but you can store it at about 18%, well, even higher. You know, so if you've got some with green corn, and it's a good excuse. It's somewhere to put 120 ton of not so brilliant barley. This used to feed a mill years ago, straight into a mill, and it was a good rig, but it's had its day. We say it every year that it's going to be one of our last years, but fair view from up here. Blowing up, it's about 6:30 Saturday morning, and I think it's forecast rain by dinner, so I just want to get 3 or 4 load up. You know, it's a very slow operation. I mean, 10 ton an hour maybe. You're up a long way, 50 foot up through a 6-inch pipe. You need a lot of draft on. It's a Kongskilde sub 300, which is a little bit borderline small for job. It's sub 500 would be better, but it's just what we have. We say it every year, it's going to be last year we use it, but it is an handy place to put 130 ton of not so brilliant moisture corn. You know, put it in at 18-19%, no green. In fact, it used to go be piped straight into the mill. It worked, it was a good system in its day, like. But it's so slow now. A lot of these still standing on farms, but not many are used now. So yeah, it's just a big blower. Sucks through there, that pipe there, into that safe load, and then that blower produces air, and up it goes, and the product travels with the air. You can bung it up. Just go out having a paddle about. It's 1st of August, and just having a paddle about. It's not of a day, it's a bit of a drizzly, horrible day. But I've just sort of having a look at a few crops. Look at our maize, how tall it is already. It must be 8 foot tall. In fact, there's probably taller, but look at the weed. It ain't like that all over, but I don't know what weed that is, but there's a lot of it. So I don't know, it hasn't really affected the crop, but it's made it messy in the bottom. But I'm really pleased with how it looks so far. It's starting to make kernels now, you know, so you can eat them. They get a bit woody, but you can eat them at a certain stage. It's probably a week or two's time, but they soon get woody, you know. They don't really taste like what you get from supermarket. Just having a look at a field of wheat, well, a field of wheat or two really. This is a variety called Saki. It's a new one what we've grown this time, and look at the ears. That's a massive ear in it. And when you look at the grains as well, if you rub one out, the real bold grains as well. You know, I mean, they're nowhere near ready, but look at that grain there. That's huge, isn't it? I mean, these wheats, we've got nothing. We've got one getting there. I think if we get 3 or 4 days of real hot weather this week, we could maybe be on at weekend, but it's very unsettled is the weather. But yeah, because I was a bit worried that everything had ripened a bit quick. Everything seemed to lose its colour very, very fast, and I thought it burnt it up, but no, the grains look very bold, so I'm quite pleased. Yeah, Saki. Whether it's going to replace, such as our Revelation, a trusty old variety what we've grown forever, I don't know, so we'll see. In a field of oats of ours, and bloody hell, weather's took its toll. It's beat it to death, but they're very, very heavy. I mean, there's oats forevermore. There's no call for oats nowadays though. They just take a little bit of selling. We never risk taking them up to Quakers up north, because if they get rejected, and you've got haulage to pay, so we always find a bullocky actually on hills. We lead them up there to him, found a market, but no, they've sort of fallen out of fashion. I don't know why really, because the same protein as barley, and good feed really. You know, for store cattle or store sheep, or you wouldn't want to finish stuff on it, but it's they don't cost much to grow. You know, if these do 2.5 ton, well, you'd like to hope they do 2.5 ton, and but they've had one fungicide, very little fertilizer, and just a bit of herbicide, so they've cost very, very little. And they look very heavy. I mean, yeah, it looks a mess, doesn't it, that crop? But as long as it's all sort of stood up, the combine will get underneath it on a nice day, and you know, leave very little. Bloody hell, there's some straw now. Also showing you a field of barley. This has had no preparation, i.e. land work. We just direct drill this into a muck stubble. And when we first did it, it came very dry, and slugs took their toll down the trough, made a bit of a mess, and we thought it was going to be a bit of a write-off actually. But now I'm walking in it, bloody hell, it's a hell of a crop. You know, I mean, it's not going to be a massive yielder, but for what work's gone into it and what this crop has cost, actually it's a success, a real good success. You know, it should do all right, because yeah, there was next to now you could walk through it and there'd be a plant here, a plant there. So where they've come from, I don't know. They must have been just sat there dormant at bottom of trough, and they've grown. And actually, it's helped. We've got our black grass patches up there what we've sprayed off, but down in this bottom actually, there isn't a lot come. A few wild oats here and there, but no, there ain't a lot come at all. Just having a quick look at our rape. Looks really good. Very vulnerable at the moment though, it don't want the weather. I was talking to a mate of mine in pub last night, and he's lost 40 acre. Luckily he was insured. I think it cost him £10 or £12 an acre, something like that, to insure it. And it seems an unnecessary spend insuring rape, but he's paid dividends this year because he's lost 40 acre. But yeah, this is a variety called DK XL, I think. and it is a lot of DK varieties are anti-shatter, so the pods are a bit durable, a bit more durable than other varieties. And but I mean, if you get a thunderstorm with hailstones as big as pennies, anything's going to be damaged. But what happens is it just beats the top like that, and it just ends up a white crop, where all you see is open pods. And like that, you see light, you can just, it'll be white this, and all the seed just ends up on the floor, and there's no way of picking it up. So, but no, I'm hoping by weekend that this is cleaned up and in Walker's store up road. You know, when we're going to sell it, I don't know, because it's £450 a tonne now, but you can be too greedy and it could come back. I don't know. My dad reckons when it gets to 500, he's going to sell it. So, and I tend to probably agree with him. I think, you know, it has to be affordable for people buying it to do whatever with it. And at 500, you know, it gets to a point that they'll find an alternative to get their oil and one thing or another. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to do 2 tonne though. No, I'm pretty adamant. If I could guess what it's going to yield, it would 1.7, 1.8, I would say. But we'll know exactly, because every grain of this rape will go into store up road. So we'll have a tally up with what acreage we've put in, and we'll know exactly, and I'll let you know. So my Pakistani friends are here to pick some coriander. They're having quite a good do, because I think that trade's pretty good. So yeah, I'll have a word with Ali. Bloody boxes all over. Look. Oh, bloody boxes. There was a right crew of them the other week. There was 8 of them picking. Tell you what, give them that deal they can graft. You know, they're on their knees with a little sickle, wrapping it into bunches, filling boxes, and bloody hell, they don't stop. They even pray. I mean, obviously the Muslims. They even pray while they're picking. This is a field of siskin what was drilled fairly early, and this is probably going to be our first. If you look, like the ears are starting to fold over, and it's starting to ripen. It's losing its green right at bottom. So I would say sort of 4 or 5 days of nice weather, this will be harvested. Not the best of crops, very thin. I don't know what's caused it, but whether the siskin aren't tilled as good as such of our other varieties. But there's a lot of light patches in this field, and it suffers from a bit of cereal eelworm and manganese problems. But how we combat that is put a lot of muck on these patches. You know, like 6-inch of muck. We know sort of roughly where they are, and I get Phil to sort of double bubble them. You know, do putting them, and it does combat it. They're a lot better than they used to be, these patches. But this field last year, this is second wheat. To be fair, it's second wheat, so that's maybe why it ain't as good as our others. And we got nothing off it. I drilled it, and it just came that wet. You know what last season was? It was just that wet. The patches came here and there. We got a bit off it, but our harvest last year was a total disaster. I don't know how we made any money today. Cutting spring barley at a tonne to acre. It was, and wheats didn't do much of a 2 on average. Spring oats did alright actually. They sort of come on, Jet! Stupid animal. Spring oats did alright actually. They sort of redeemed our harvest a little bit, if that's the right word. God, this is really fit actually. Let me have a look. Rub one out now. Put you there. God, there ain't a lot in it though, I don't know. It's as though we've had disease. But there's an out in it. Look at the grain size, it's crap innit? Very disappointing this weight. I don't think it's going to yield. Very disappointing this siskin. I don't think it's going to yield much at all. It's just horrible grain. Small grain. I don't know whether it's disease. We did everything same as the spray program was exactly the same. Timings were good. We didn't miss anything. We didn't treat it any different, but it's not brilliant wheat. So where's that bloody animal? Jet! Jet, come on! It's got shit for brains, this dog. There it is. Come on! Very protective. She's an Alsatian cross Labrador. And a very protective dog. We were, me and my eldest lad, our down, he's 29. We were play fighting in the kitchen. Bloody hell. That thing had hold of him. It was like a police dog. It had hold of him. He had to get up onto island to get away from it. Yeah, very protective over me, it's that dog. So, and I think if she set about you, she'd do some damage because there's she's a big thing. She looks like a bear, doesn't she? Come on. It's got a little bit of a weight problem. Well, are we all? After this lockdown thing, everybody drinks and eats a bit more at home. Because it's gone down. Come on, here! Come on.